Final appetizer is offered by the Wong Brothers from the great chefs of New Orleans. It is shrimp Q. The narrative is by Tommy Wong while James, his brother, cooks.
This is number one son, James, who's the chef. And we're using medium to large size Gulf shrimp. This is a white shrimp. You want to cut the shrimp through about 3/4 to 4/5 of the way. You don't want to go all the way through with it, and removing the little black vein from the back. And then dropping it into ice water and cleaning off any excess. But this will help firm the texture of the shrimp. When a lady's flat open on a paper towel or cloth and then pat them dry. It's important you get rid of all the excess water, otherwise when you put this in the oil it will splatter. James has added salt, white pepper, wine, egg white, and you want to mix this thoroughly and evenly. A couple of drops of sesame seed oil. And you want to just sprinkle some cornstarch and coat this very lightly. This is peanut oil, just to seal it. What we're using here is celery. Notice the angle James is holding his celery. It's a very simple cut and looks much nicer than most other way. It's very important to cut the vegetable the same width and length. If not, when you stir fry, you have a tendency of finding some of the vegetable undercooked and some overcooked. So, very important to keep it uniform. This is fresh snow pea pods. I recommend people to use whatever vegetables in season or whatever you particularly care for this stir frying of vegetables. James going to add a little color to here. With Chinese cooking, as with any cooking, eye appeal is very important, and James is adding his own personal touch by putting his, I call his signature, into each dish when he carves his own carrots. A lot of times people, when they come to the restaurant, say, "Do we have a cookie cutter?" And I tell them no. I just drag James out of the kitchen and show him my cookie cutter. This is not a fancy tool or anything, this is just a straight knife. There. It's not going to take too long. Got a little bass jumping there. There on the bottom plate is straw mushrooms, usually imported and come in a can. This is a giant garlic. You want to cut and mince this fine. And also with ginger. At the restaurant we use about 70% garlic and 30% ginger when we mince them, and we'll add them together. People always ask me how to keep food from sticking to the wok or to any bottom pan. It's very important that you heat it up first. James has heated up his wok first, then added about a cup of peanut oil in there. You could usually tell it should be about 350 or 375 degree. A lot of time when you see it smoking, when the oil has rippling and smoking, that should be hot enough. And you want to cook the shrimp to be about 70% done. You don't want to cook it all the way through. Remember that light coat of cornstarch we put in? What that has done right now in the oil has formed a coating around the shrimp to keep the moisture from escaping, from cooking out. This is our ginger and garlic mixture. Putting in the hard vegetables first. You want to let the ginger brown just slightly on the bottom. This stove we're using is extremely high compared to what you would use at home, so the time is greatly reduced. A slight soy sauce and wine James just tossing. Remember, it's called stir frying. You must stir fry and keep it tossing until you put the stock in. This is a little bit of chicken stock. Now put the lid in for steaming. At home, you might want to, what James got in that ladle has all the seasoning mix. You could do this at home also, pre-mixing it into a small bowl and stirring it. The cornstarch has already been added. Cornstarch will not form until the temperature is right to the boiling point. That's when it takes shape. When you start cooking with cornstarch, you want to add a little bit. If the mixture is not thick enough, then you want to add a little bit. Remember, it will not thicken until the temperature comes to a boil, so be careful.